What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Summer Games Fest because I just finished watching the 2-hour presentation of trailers, developer interviews, grand reveals, and cell phone ads, and I feel like this was definitely a very different year. Geoff Keighley, the inventor of Summer Games Fest and the host, told us to keep our expectations low, but it does still feel like the internet is instantly saying, that was it? Let's go through these games bit by bit. I decided to actually pull up a bunch of screenshots and stuff. I want to parse through the parts of this I thought were good and the parts of it I thought were absolutely terrible. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, instantly, the second it ended, I see people just saying, wow, what the heck? It was leaked that for every trailer they post, it costs $250,000 a minute. So you kind of expect with that amount of budget that stuff is going to be more entertaining, more dramatic, more crazy. Like the biggest stuff is going to pay that enormous price tag. I want to give credit at the start here. It does seem like Geoff Keighley is trying to listen to criticism. I feel like people sometimes tell me that I'm overly harsh to Geoff Keighley and that I beat up on his stuff too much, but the purpose is that I want Summer Games Fest and Opening Night Live and the Game Awards, everything he is personally working on, I want it to be better. But like some stuff he definitely did correct this year. Like I do like that he opened up by just acknowledging the fact that the industry is in a very bad spot. Mass firings, studio closures, all sorts of stuff. So he highlighted the fact that this is definitely the year of the indie. The fact that Helldivers 2, Balatro, Hades, like a lot of the stuff is made by incredibly tiny teams. That's neat. But let's go through some games. Okay, so I actually pulled up what I think are like the best 10 games of stuff they showed and some stuff that I feel like I definitely kind of hated. Now, I'm not going to talk about some of the stuff was so appallingly bad, I didn't even pull it up. I mean, a lot of the stuff of like Valorant's DLC or freaking new random patch notes for Pal World. I mean, personally, I just don't care about that kind of stuff. But they opened up with Lego Horizon. Now, here's the real surprise. It seems actually pretty good. It looks like it's going to be very top down. A lot of the gameplay actually showed it from this point of view where the camera is kind of like hovering over Aloy. It is 2-player, maybe even 3 or 4-player. It is multiplayer. They also said it's coming to PS5, the Nintendo Switch, and PC, which is definitely a surprise. Is this the first game made by Sony that's released for the Nintendo Switch? Like first party. I can't think of anything else. Like maybe you guys can correct me in the comments, but I think this looks good. I'm not the biggest fan of Lego games, so I'm going into this with a lot of hesitance. I'm going to play it, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to beat it, but it does look like one of those games that's not my typical taste. So I may hit it and then forget it. Next up, No Room in Hell 2. Permadeath 8-player co-op. So they actually brought out some people talking about this. Apparently this was originally like a mod. It's like a Source Engine game. I think this looks great. There was a surprising amount of horror. I'm a big fan of spookiness, so this actually looks great. This is the kind of stuff that I'm kind of glad did get a big stage, where this is something that does have a smaller budget, clearly a smaller team. It looks a little rough around the edges, but it's different. I kind of like games like this that, most people are not going to buy this. Most people aren't going to play this. But to me, it's interesting that this doesn't look like Call of Duty or the 8 billion other games that are just shelled out every year. So next up, a new look at Star Wars Outlaws. So some of the stuff here, I can tell that people are excited about. So this is a big open world Star Wars games where you're going to be able to explore planets, do missions, pull off big heists. I'm still mixed on this. They're going to do like a big gameplay deep dive. They showed us like 4 minutes of a trailer here. Apparently they're going to do like 20 minutes of a reveal soon at their own thing. There's like a, what do they call it? Ubisoft Forward coming up on June 10th. But immediate reaction, I think my problem is that I am incredibly tired of Star Wars. Like, everything looks so much the same. And I know this is a me problem. I'm still going to buy this game probably because I do want to review it. I want to see if it'll prove me wrong. But I feel like so much of Star Wars is the exact same flora and fauna, desert planets with people, here's a little hover bike. Like, sometimes just fighting against stormtroopers and hearing people bust out lightsabers. I think I'm just kind of burned on the whole Star Wars extended universe. Next up, Civilization. Okay, so I have a couple slides here in a row, and it's highlighting a complaint I have, which is tons of CGI trailers. This is a problem at every showcase, but here, I feel like they did better. They did different styles of CGI, like this is like a pre-rendered cutscene announcing a bunch more characters and DLC coming to Street Fighter 6. My issue is the fact that all of these trailers do not convey what it's actually about. I wish they showed us gameplay, even if it is a couple seconds. Like, I know it costs you guys hundreds of thousands of dollars per minute to put stuff up here. My issue is the fact that if you're going to convey information, if it was my first time ever seeing this stuff, if I had never seen Civilization or Black Myth Wukong ever, what does this convey to me? Like, genuinely, I mean this seriously. If I just see a CG trailer of like kingdoms made out of sand, what does that mean? Civilization 7 is probably going to be fantastic. It is still Sid Meier. My thing is like, okay, why? Like, why would I want to watch a CG trailer of a game that's about tactical turn-based strategy on a global scale? Okay, next up, Metaphor Refantazio. I still don't know how to pronounce this name. It's the new thing by the Persona people. They even brought out one of the developers to kind of talk about their intent, their mission, what they're trying to do. This, to me, looks utterly perfect. I'm very much in my Persona vibe still. I'm currently, well, I'm not allowed to say that. I am hypothetically playing a game that maybe is by the studio right now. The thing is, I do still love the idea of capturing monsters and leveling up and trying to do combo takedowns and stuff. I know that people say that Atlas releases a lot of games, they really churn them out, but I feel like they're all good. If these people keep making games every single year that are weird and philosophical and beautiful and colorful and have crazy banging soundtracks, yeah, man, put out a game every 2 years for the rest of my life. I'll be in the retirement home playing Metaphor 17. Like, these games are definitely lower budget compared to like the AAA 200-hour cutscenes you see in like a Final Fantasy, but I can't help but just think that these are the kind of games I appreciate the fact that they are getting more successful. Okay, what do we got next? Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Okay, so this is technically Tenkaichi 4. I'm a kid of the 90s. I grew up completely obsessed with Dragon Ball Z, just like everybody else, pretending to go Super Saiyan, getting in fist fights on the playground to see whose power level was better, that kind of stuff. This is a fighting game. They give us so much gameplay, so much stuff about, like, the reason I always love the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games and the Tenkaichi games is the single-player story modes, where you get to play through a lot of the most iconic fights of the franchise, but it's also more than that. They do like weird alternate timeline stories and stuff. And some of the hints they showed in this trailer, and it's coming out October 11th, it sounds like they're going to do more weird side stories from the anime that include big brawler fights. I am out of my mind excited for this. So it sounds like I'm being extra excited here, but I feel like the problem is that for every good trailer we got, we had more stuff like this. A look at Delta Force Hawk Ops. What a horrible name. Hawk Ops. This is going to be a game based on the movie Black Hawk Down from like 2001? When the heck did that even come out? So this is going to be an extraction shooter. Don't fall asleep. Don't click off the video. And I'll be honest, this looks absolutely terrible. Like, yeah, you got some photorealism and stuff. Man, this looks like one of those weird, like, games that is just like focus tested till it has absolutely no charm left. I feel like there's games that they talk to boardrooms and investors and like marketing people before they actually make the game. This is something that's clearly just trying to basically like get a side scoop of the Call of Duty audience. Man, do I not care about that. And they had so much stuff like that. This is perhaps, there were a couple announcements today. There were a couple like big reveals that absolutely blew my mind. This is one of them. And I want to explain why. So Blumhouse makes horror movies. They do all sorts of stuff, but they're a movie studio, and they announced that they're going to start making games. Now, when it comes to their movies, their sort of methodology is to make something as cheap as possible, budget-wise, and then as big as possible, production-wise. All right, how much can we make stuff? How few special effects people can we hire to still have like a cool effect? Like how few actors and lighting and stuff. Their goal is always, okay, how can we make something terrifyingly realistic without spending $700 million on special effects like a Marvel movie? So apparently they're taking that idea and applying it to freaking video games. They're going to get cheap indie games from studios that have already made good stuff and then fund it just to make sure it exists. That's fascinating. And to be honest, a lot of the games look good. They had like a pixel art one. There was one like a sort of a one that sort of looked like something like, what is that called? Layers of Fear? Like one of those first person, you got no weapons kind of things. This one is definitely like an FPS horror. That's pretty freaking cool. I am definitely paying attention to this. This is one of those ones where I feel like, okay, it's not like a big trailer, but I am down for whatever this turns into. Next up, Power Rangers. This is probably the one that just surprised me the most. It's called Rita's Rewind. So at the start, I was like, okay, it's like a new side-scrolling beat-em-up, the same way they made like the new Ninja Turtles game that's incredibly good. But apparently, there are different games that are in different genres. So this is like Road Rash. Look at that. It's Road Rash. Then it has like, there were like sections that look like fighting games and stuff. They're silly like Battletoad style levels, but all of it is in like this Turtles in Time paint job. This looks freaking incredible. Like this is the kind of retro throwback nostalgia stuff that I appreciate the most, where it's like, hey, here's a game that is retro, but is new and is blending genres and is adding to that classic aesthetic. I promise I'm skipping a bunch. My thing is that I'm sure someone in the comment section is going to go, oh, you forgot to talk about Zenless Zone Zero, and you forgot to talk about the update to Halo, blah, 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 blah. I am skipping a lot of DLC. They had so much stuff in here that straight up I did not care about. I'm trying to focus on the good because, let's face it, about half of this hour was just it was paint drying. Half of this was incredibly boring, and then half of it was actually exciting stuff. So I'm trying to focus on the stuff that's definitely better because, man, if we were talking about the bad games, we'd all be dead. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I never played the original Kingdom Come Deliverance, but this game looks incredibly good. I mean, it looks big and goofy in like an actual sense. I feel like so many games that try and put humor into it, it feels so forced and cringy. This seems like an actually good game, and I'm surprised by it. It's like a big medieval game, but you can go around and get into wars and raid forts and stuff like that. Next up, Slitterhead. Okay, so this looks fantastic, but I want to explain to you why this is so crazy. So yes, it has crazy monsters and cool designs and stuff like that. This is by the people that invented Silent Hill. This is the people, as I lose it right there, let me scroll back down. That's the people that did Silent Hill 1. They've come back together to make a new game. Like, I have to buy this. I have to review this because even if it does turn out to be bad, I'm not going to hate on them preemptively, but there have definitely been a lot of stories of people that have kind of been out of the industry for a bit and they try and make a triumphant return and you get a game that's not quite what you hoped. I want to play this though, just to see what the people who invented Silent Hill would come up to be spooky these days. That's so cool to me. Next up, Sonic Generations, baby. This is coming out October 25th. Sonic X Shadow Generations. Of all the games they showed today, because I watched the live stream live, this is one that probably got the biggest cheer, which was kind of funny to me because, I mean, this does look good, but people are like losing their minds. This seems fantastic. They showed so much gameplay for both the Sonics and Shadow. They said there's going to be a solo Shadow campaign. Every time I click stuff, it all gets busted. Sorry. Man, I cannot wait to play this. Oh my gosh. You can see all the games I'm scrolling past. Among Us, Outer Sloth. Oh my God. There were just The First Descendant, Cairn, Killer Bean. What the heck is Killer Bean? I watched these trailers, and even now it feels like I'm having a fever dream. Killer Bean. Next up, Skate is coming back. This is technically Skate 4. We don't know anything other than the fact that it's Skate. We're about to get a pre-alpha, and it's getting console playtesting this year. Wow. Okay, so some of the stuff during this showcase I did technically know about early. Some companies will basically like, hey, we're about to announce this. Are you ready? This is one of the things I had a heads up about, but actually getting a chance to see it. The Night Springs DLC. It's coming out tomorrow morning. I love Alan Wake 2 a lot. I'm a huge fan of Alan Wake 2. This was a cool reveal. You're going to get a chance to actually play as different characters than just Alan Wake. You're going to be playing as Rose as a main character. You're going to get a chance to actually do different stuff than what was in the main campaign. God, look at all these games. Oh my God. But this DLC seems so good. I am going to make a video about this because I'm so excited about it. Man, that is so incredibly cool. Next up, and we are close to the end here, we have 2 games left. Monster Hunter Wilds got another incredibly long trailer that looks great. I'm a big fan of Monster Hunter anyways, and I feel like Capcom's been killing it. This does seem to be like a just extreme budget version of Monster Hunter. It looks like it's going to have destructible environments. Typically with Monster Hunter, you like pick a target and then go to the map and then hunt it and try and before the timer runs out. Now, obviously, this is gameplay where we don't have a HUD, but it doesn't look like it's going to have a timer. It looks like it's going to be fully open world, so you can just explore and take stuff down and craft materials. This seems like Monster Hunter Wilds is pretty much Monster Hunter 5. It is such a big sequel. It's going in a very, very new direction. I cannot wait to play this, but it's not coming out for a while. They are going to be doing a demo. Apparently, certain people are going to be able to be playing it if you go to Gamescom in Germany, which I'm not. But this was the final game, Phantom Blade Zero. Final game of the show, hands-on demo announced. You can play it at Summer Games Fest, Tokyo Game Show, stuff like that. This game still looks too good to be true. Like, it just has such a cool art style and photorealism to it. I'm not sure I fully believe it's legit, but it is apparently coming out next year. It's a samurai, spooky, epic, fairy tale, badass experience, and I'm definitely on board for it. Overall, I think I enjoyed watching this. I think I had a good time with it just in general, but there's no denying the fact that there's just still too much filler. Like, if you're going to have a 2-hour presentation, there's so many ads for like cell phone games. There were like, I think 2 or 3 Game Pass commercials in here. And I know that's what pays the bills, but if people are already paying like $250,000 a minute, or was it $150,000 a minute, you would expect a little bit more focus on the games themselves, but instead it just still feels like not quite enough. Shorten it or pump it up. I don't want movie trailers in the middle of my stuff. Like the fact that they showed a trailer for Inside Out 2, the fact that they like talk so much about movies, I don't know. Jeff Keighley's parents are the inventors of IMAX, so I know he grew up pretty much in movie theaters, so he has a big passion for movies, but man, this ain't Hollywood. I don't know. That's just some off-the-cuff thoughts. What did you guys think about this? It's hard to even put a number on this. I think I would give it like a 7. I saw a lot of people instantly saying it was like a 3 or a 4. I think personally I had a 7 out of 10 of enjoyment, maybe a 6 out of 10, but what do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.